crucial things you must avoid during your spiritual awakening. All right, I'm going to jump right into it, beginning with your friend circle. Honestly, your friend circle, the people in your life, okay, are the people who you are going to become. Look around them. Think about them right now, all right? Imagine them. The top 3 friends, okay? You probably hang around 1 or 2 people the most, but your top 3 friends, okay? That is who you are going to become. If they're not successful people, if they're not people who you envision you want to become, then let go right now. And you might be entertaining the idea. However, think about long-term success. Think about long-term cultivating what you want to do in this incarnation right here. All right. So to be honest with you, I loved all my old friends, all the old habits. I have nothing but unconditional love for them. I wish I would have cut those ties a lot sooner. You know, I wish I would have had the expectations, and I wish I would have just let go of all of those attachments a lot sooner, because I've been through many, many cycles of this, right? Many cycles of, friends, and many cycles of jobs and locations and moving and traveling and whatnot. However, I wish I would have just let go faster and just had that, sense of, I'm on my path and you're on your path, and that's it, right? All that clinging, all of that hanging on is what's creating the suffering, honestly. So that's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have avoided during, my quote unquote spiritual awakening, right? And honestly, this doesn't stop, right? Once you're awakened, you're still awakening. So don't get under this, false impression that I'm awakened or that other people that are awakened, or even, Eckhart Tolle or whoever, spiritual person that you look up to, right? As long as you have this physical form, as long as you have this meat suit right here, you are still awakening. You're still on the path, right? You're still got the karma to live out. Okay, so that's what we're all doing right here in the internal now. Now, for me, I can only speak for myself, because, to be honest, my spiritual awakening, my spiritual path has been rough. It's been dark, right? A lot of, trauma, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotions, right? To say the least, right? So my point I'm getting to is the better, friend you make anxiety, the better you become friends with, depression, the better you become friends with change, right? The more stillness, the more peace, the more quality of life during your awakening you'll get. You see, the jumps and the rockiness and the bumps in the road only happen because of the turbulence. You see what I'm saying? And the resistance from me, the ego, right? The lower self, right? Instead of just letting the reins go and letting the higher self take full control. That's the dance that's always happening, right? That's this ebb and flow. You see, the light and the dark, the 3D versus the 5, the lower self versus the higher self. Remember, your higher self is always 10 steps ahead of you. You don't have anything to really, quote unquote, figure out. You don't. In fact, your mind is the thing that's getting you in the way. That's not you. You are not your thoughts. Your higher self is beyond all thought forms, all limitations. So surrender to that energy, surrender to that path and that discipline that you're cultivating right now through that spiritual practice, okay? I wish I would have known all of this before, I started any sort of technique or anything. And now the most important thing that I would want to portray to you right now as you're on the path, as you're awakening, okay, is sticking to a map, sticking to a schematic, right, to navigate consciousness. For me, that's yoga, right? I love yoga. I love meditation. I love all the yogic traditions, and I feel like a calling to follow that even further. Okay, now that's my own individual karma and desire system. Now, what is your karma and your desire system? You see, is it Buddhism and following the path of the Buddha, the awakened one, right? Is it, Judaism? Is it, it doesn't have to be any religion even. It doesn't have to be Jesus or Yeshua, right? It could be nature, right? It could be science, could be anything. The question is, what is getting you outside of that self, right? You have to go into selflessness. You see, the omnipresent point of view, the infinite cup, not the little limited cup, right? We're going beyond your sense of self, your identification with the personality. That's the literal definition of a quote unquote spiritual awakening. All right. So I know there's been a lot of quotes, and I know there's a lot of key phrases to take away here. So just remember, you're awakening whether you realize it or not. And the more that you can, be friends with these heavy emotions that are going to come, such as depression and anxiety, when you cling to the old version of yourself who you thought you were, when actuality you weren't that at all, because you've always been this infinite cup, this infinite person, this infinite light cosmic being, not the individual just meat suit walking around in 3D. No, you are the multi-dimensional infinite cosmic self. Never forget that. All right, so please avoid these things during your spiritual awakening. Avoid these things and embrace authenticity, embrace these emotions, embrace the heaviness, embrace those roller coasters, right? Let go of those toxic friends, let go of these emotions and foods and things that are no longer serving you. All right. Have the courage to trust your higher self and know that that energy is always omnipresent. It's always 10 steps ahead of you. Okay. So the practice that you have to cultivate is the art of letting go. Remember this mantra. Okay. If you're new, you know this, right? Let go, surrender, and repeat. Do it with me right here if you'd like. Let go of the fact that you are not the personality, you see? You have to surrender to the higher self, to that almighty, you see? And then finally repeat this process until you feel complete, until you feel at one, at peace with all of this cosmic energy, right? Because it's here. It's activating within you right now just by listening to this podcast, just by listening to this video, this live transmission. It's happening right now into the consciousness itself. It's exciting, right? I'm just happy to be here with all of you, happy to connect again. And all of this is happening for a reason, right? So avoid all of this on your spiritual path. Avoid this, okay? And it'll be a little bit smoother, hopefully. And you'll have a little bit more of a dance between that third dimension and 5 dimension, right? Into the matrix game and what you have to do on planet Earth here, and into your infinite cosmic self, right? Always go back into that anchor, which is beyond the body, which is beyond this meat suit, right? Because that's who you truly are, okay? And until next time, infinite love, infinite peace.